This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Sophie and Manj are in the house. How are you guys?
Hello, Hrishi K. What's up?
Very good. I'm sorry that you're here, very unslept, but very brave of you to get off a plane and get here, bro.
I blame her for me being here right now.
Gotta be done. Gotta be done.
Forced me to get here right now.
Yeah, I twisted his arm. No, really. Listen, we're so excited about our song, so it didn't take much to get him out of bed.
No. We're really excited.
Yeah, and you guys have a common background in the sense you both are from the UK, isn't it? I mean, so, of course, Sophie doesn't count anymore.
No.
She's a Mumbai girl. She's a
Pakka Mumbaiker.
Pakka Mumbaiker. But I remember when you first came down, I think you'd done a song with Bidu, and you were kind enough to invite me to your apartment in the 90s. Now we'll give our age away.
Not 90s, 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Wow, 90s.
Early 90s is like little. You know what? I think everyone thinks 90s because that was like the golden age of indie pop, but they kind of forget that it went into the early 2000s.
But you were 14 in any case, you know.
So sweet. I was 12 when I did backings on Made in India. That is a fact.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is a fact. But yeah, I was still studying when I came here with my girl band. Then when we moved, I had just graduated, and that was early 2000s. Yeah, that's when you came.
Which part of the UK are we talking about? I mean, where are you from?
I'm from the north.
He's from up north.
Up north, where we speak very, very differently up there.
So are you Bradford?
Bradford, yeah.
Okay, Bradford.
Yeah.
And whereabouts were you from?
I'm London proper.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell from the accent already, I'm London
She was
proper.
from the posh area. I'm from the gully. Really, to be honest.
Yeah, he's the gully boy.
I'm the gully boy.
By the way, if you haven't seen Gully Boy, check it out because Manj Music features in it.
Of course, and you know that there's been this invasion of West London boys,
That's
which
right.
are Hrishi and Juggy D and Jay
I just want to tell you that when I was moving...
And whenever they come in, they always pick that chair. So it's quite...
Oh, really? Yeah. We like to be in the corner, that's what it is, yeah.
Except Juggy wanted to stand. He
Oh,
said,
really?
Man,
Yeah, that
Wow.
would be
you know, I want to stand and do it.
Yeah, I want to tell you, when I made the decision to move to Mumbai, like all these guys, like Hrishi, everybody, they're like, "What are you gonna do in India? Like, it's really different. Like, how are you gonna adjust? Like, what you gonna move?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna move." And they were all like, "Seriously?" And now everyone's coming, so I'm like, I just want to say I was a little ahead of my time.
She was the first
but this was the right
to
thing
make the
to
big
do.
leap.
Yeah.
Rishi has his PAN card now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
again full desi now.
Once you get the PAN card and a Aadhaar card, that's it. It's over, right? Then you're official.
Manj has also moved this
Yes,
year. He
I
has
have.
made the
Awesome.
official move.
Yeah, yeah.
So where's the homecome studio? Is it Bandra or is it in Juhu?
Yeah. I am not so upper class like Sophie
Oh,
and Bandra.
rubbish.
You're in Bandra.
I'm in Bandra, but I was in Juhu. That's where we all begin. Juhu's a good place.
That's right. But Juhu's nice. The sea's close by. You know, you can't complain.
I'm getting used to it. It's a big difference from Toronto. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I'm still new to
Adjusting.
the game.
Lovely. And this track, how did the collaboration happen? I mean, gone are the days when record labels would put people together, right? You've got to do your own thing now.
Yeah.
And then, just push it out there. The video's looking lovely. So Sophie's looking beautiful as always.
Yep.
Might I add, you're looking pretty cool too.
Yeah. I'm trying
Swag
to be cool. I'm
up
trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool throughout the whole video.
You know, it's really funny because even though we're both from the UK, we never actually properly met until about last year.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so weird, and we met on a flight.
Yeah.
So of course I've been a big fan of RDB, as has every single person.
Everybody, yeah.
And then Manj was kicking up his individual stuff, which has also been doing great. And we just met on a flight, and we got chatting. He was with Nindi, who I absolutely adore. And I don't know, it just felt like we'd known each other for ages.
We just started talking, and we just happened to sit right next to each other as well on the flight. So we just started talking and was like, okay, let's do something. Why not get together in the studio and we'll make some crazy tune?
Yeah. Wow. So then we met. And he was like, "Do you want to do like a slow song? Do you want to do sad, happy?" I was like, "See, listen, I'm known for like my gigs. I perform live a lot. My shows are really high energy. Everyone likes to see me dancing, so it's got to be something fun, something dancey." So he had this hook line, which was "Aj Naiyo, Sawna." So we sort of worked a little bit on that, and then the great Manj disappeared off to Canada for 6 months.
6 months.
And that was that. Really, I hadn't heard from him for 6 months. I was like, "Gana kahan gaya?"
I went MIA. That was my fault. I had to go back to Toronto and do my thing, but we ended up working on the song. Like I was working on it remotely from over there.
Yeah.
And we made one version.
Yeah.
Which we scrapped completely. That was my choice, even though Sophie really liked that version. She was like, "I'm okay with that version."
But why do you think it didn't make the grade?
I made another version, and I just liked the second version better. The first version was I felt, because obviously 6 months, 7 months went by as well, so I felt as though it was getting a little old. and that the new sound had come in and something really catchy had come in. So I just worked on the new one, and when we worked on the new one, that worked out better for me.
Yeah.
Lovely. And
I just want to say, imagine my shock when we're working on the song, and then one morning I just get a message saying, "Hey, switched it up to 2018, 2019, baby. Here it is." And I'm listening to the song like, what song is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Sophie just got used to the old version, and she's like, oh, I like the other version. I go, no, we're doing this version. That's it. It's over. But
yeah, then when I heard it, it made complete sense. It's a very new, very fresh sound. Not like a typical Punjabi, not a typical hip hop, just like a very happy, dancey, fun commercial space, which has not really been done in Punjabi songs.
And I noticed that Hrishi Rich is in the credits as a lyric writer.
No, that's the wrong one. It's a Mr. Richie is another guy. He's probably stole Rishi's name. That could be a copyright issue. But Mr. Richie is just a kid. He's just a kid. He's in Delhi, who's an amazing kid that I signed under Manj Music, and he's an amazing writer. So this was just one of the songs that he wrote.
You seem to be signing some interesting kids out of Delhi. Raftar can't stop talking about you every time he's here. Oh, Manj Paji and Nindi Bappi and
they pretty much like set him on his way.
Totally,
I mean,
That's
totally.
one career,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
but it's nice that it's nice to get recognized. I know people who set off other people's careers and they don't even remember. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people don't even know that Manj is the one who produced High Rated Gabru, which is like one of the biggest songs, and that was all actually Manj started that entire thing off.
I think I just like being in the back seat and just letting everyone do their thing. I mean, I think the one advice I got from Salman Khan. He said, listen, if you're going to sign somebody and you're going to hold them down for the rest of their life, then don't bother signing them, because what's going to happen is slowly but surely the hate is going to start growing, and they're going to feel as though they're in jail. So if you're going to sign them for a small period of time, help them succeed, and then let them go, let them fly. Because as they fly, if you've brought them up well and you've signed them and taught them well, then once they fly, they will actually appreciate you, and they will keep doing your sift everywhere that you go.
That's quite a cool thought.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Absolutely.
Do like a 1 album, 2 album, or whatever, 5 single deal, and then go free to explore your own thing.
Isn't that the only way? Because every artist is constantly growing, changing, going in new directions, and if you hold them down, that really limits their creativity. But it's also incredible to have somebody like Manj, give you that launch pad, give you that start, because that kind of experience, that kind of knowledge, you don't get from everybody. And today, to find that platform, there's tons of platforms. How do you stand out? How do you get that head start? When you have people like Manj backing you, it makes a huge difference. We've seen it anyway with so many. And that's why I was so excited to collaborate with him, because I am Punjabi, but nobody knows I'm Punjabi.
Because Choudhry could be anything. Yeah. Choudhry could be Jat, could be Bengali, it could be anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So nobody knows. I like the fact that nobody knows actually. What I'm all about. It's cool. Sophie Choudhry is kind of like, where is she from? What is she? Well, heck yeah. I like that. It's always been like that. But I thought it was time I should start singing in Punjabi. It's something I've always wanted to do. I was looking for the right song, so we started off, and now many more to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So come on, can I make you sing, please, for me? I know it's terrible without a groove, but
yeah. I'll just pick up when you start singing, because I'm like half asleep still. So I'll do the chorus with you.
All right. दारू दा स्टॉक अज कट नहीं हो बैना ते मुंडिया ते कुड़ियां ने जपदे रहना टपदे रहना ते मुंडिया ते कुड़ियां ने बस एयो कहना अज नहीं हो सोना नहीं अज नहीं हो सोना अज नहीं हो सोना नहीं अज नहीं हो सोना डीजे नू बुलाउणा ते सब नू नचाउणा अज नहीं हो सोना नहीं अज नहीं हो सोना.
Sweet.
Normally I sing like the octave higher, but like I'm half asleep right now.
We will forgive you. Go YouTube it. Go on to all online platforms.
Please support independent original music.
Yes, totally. And now let's come to the video making. It's quite slick.
Thank you.
Who filmed it, and who was your crew behind that? whose choice was that? You want to take me through that, Sophie?
Yeah, so back in the day when my videos like Pardesi and Babu and all these massive videos would come out, there was like a few specific music video directors that you could go to. They would specialize in it.
Ken would make every third video.
Ken, and there was Rahul Sood ka period, and there was amazing people. Even Mahesh Matai would make videos. I mean, there was amazing people doing videos. Pradeep Sarkar with all the Euphoria videos. You knew who to go to for what. And today, it's really not like that because mostly choreographers are doing videos. And then you have the odd few. You have Gifty, you have Arvind Khera, you have Robbie, you have a few. So we wanted to do a video that looks like a pop video, not a film song. So Manj had worked with this team in Spain. He said, listen, they're really good guys. So I said, chalo. Little did I know that half the team was going to be Russian.
Yeah, they were like, half
in
Russian,
fact, more than
Estonian,
half, all of them.
and whatnot.
Estonian and Russian. So we had the main video director, whose name is Jaggi Singh. First time he was also doing a video here in India. So he's Punjabi from the UK, had not really worked too much with the crew here. And the rest of the team, the DOP, the lighting, the editor, everyone was Russian, Estonian. So it was a
So
pretty
there was like a
incredible-
language barrier, big time, when they were trying to tell the people who,
what to
like the
do.
lighting technicians, the spot boys, and they're like sign language trying to tell them.
Literally, and we shot the video in one day, like literally 12 hours, and it's if you look at it, it doesn't look like that at all.
No, it's
but
not.
by the end of the day, I was like vodka because I was I was like, yeah, that's what you need right now.
And that's a universal language.
It
Language,
is
yeah.
indeed. But no, they were amazing to work
They were
with.
really good, they were
and
really
we're getting some amazing feedback for the video. People are saying it looks really different to everything else that's out there. It looks cool. It looks like a pop video. And so we're really happy about that.
I got a lot of messages from people saying that the sound and the visual doesn't resemble anything that is typical in India.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what
we
we
wanted.
to do.
Yeah, that was the fair thing.
And even the storyboard and things like that, it's just it's very cool.
Well, it could have been easy to just do looking good, which is of course a huge part of the video. But Manj was also insistent that we need to do something fun, and so was I. So the idea of like crashing your parents' boring dinner party, that's something that everyone probably fantasizes about. Walk in with your crew, take over the party, get the uncles and aunties dancing with you. I mean, it's just a fun thing. And
I like the when you walk in, the shocked expressions.
Yeah.
So those uncles and aunties were well cast.
They were,
Oh,
yeah, the uncle in the tux was very cute.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
was very cute. And
There's
the
some
auntie
super cool
also.
dudes.
Beta, dinner's ready. I was like, oh my
That
God.
dialogue at the start was just...
My mom was just like, okay, has that ever happened to you? I'm like, no, not really, but it could.
It went a bit filmy there.
It was fun though. It was fun, and I guess that's what we wanted. The kind of video that looks glamorous, that looks, slick, but also something everyone can watch without cringing, without feeling like, okay, this is a bit much. It needed to be fun, glamorous, but like sexy, just the right amount of sexy, and not that everyone can't watch it together.
Yeah.
Well, you can just walk out of your house and you'd be on page 3. You're always looking so beautiful, right,
Yeah,
Manj?
yeah,
She is.
100%.
Yeah, but who did your styling for you? I mean, who
In
was
the
that
video,
in the
my
video?
amazing friend Rocky S, such an amazing designer. We were doing a photo shoot just for some new pictures, and I said, okay, Rocky, I have a new song. He said, play it to me. And he heard it, and he's like, I will kill you if you go to anyone else for this song. He was like, I am doing the song. That is it. Discussion over. This song is incredible. He loved it so much, and that felt so good. Because, music is subjective. There's going to be people who love it. There's going to be people who don't. I mean, Manj just rapped in Hindi for the very first time. And that was also something very new for him because you expect him to rap in Punjabi.
Don't ask me to rap it right now because I don't remember.
I will
I'm
not
just-
put you on the spot.
But you know what I mean? It was like, so music is like that. So when we got such a great reaction from Rocky and from like the team who was coming on board, we felt really positive about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he literally designed the looks in 1 hour. The clothes were ready 2 days later, and he was
What,
like,
three
let's go.
changes?
Yeah,
Four
three
changes?
changes.
Yeah, three changes.
He's really watched the video. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
you, Hrishi K.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 changes. Teen to bante hain, yaar.
It's Sophie.
That was the minimum 3. Yeah.
Forget me.
Minimum.
He was like, yeah,
Minimum.
I'm going to be having like my Gucci this, my Off-White that, my Versace that. This
Then
is
we had a
this
back
is
and
Manj.
forth on the trousers that I was going to wear. There was
Yeah.
one with the red stripe, and then I was going to do. There was all sorts.
Yeah, that was all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's fun.
Let me just say, she's very, very particular about everything. So if there's going to be a video shoot, she's like, okay, it needs to be like this. The color coordination is like this. I'm wearing this. Blah blah blah.
pro, man.
Which is
It's
a
pro.
professional. It's 100% professional. Which out of all the videos in my life that I've done, I've never ever gone through that much particular detail ever before. I'm not saying it was bad. It was really good. It was cool, but I like that. It's professionalism. I like it.
You've got to respect it. Even though it's not your method, you've got to respect it when a person does that. Because, it just lifts the whole product, isn't it? And that's what everybody's aim is.
I just think you got to put in your 200%, give your best in everything, and then just see what happens. But I think if you I've never been the kind of person, maybe it's a little from my training, right from my Bidu days to my Rahu Sood days. I mean, literally, I can never forget Hrishi rehearsing for Ik Pardesi. I rehearsed those dance steps, I kid you not, for at least a week. He would come up every day and check my every single expression. Like, I would have to do every single expression. Even Vinay Sapru, Radhika Rao, who made all those Kanta Laga, Charti Javani, all of that, for Babu Chel Chabila, I can never forget that she literally walked into my vanity on the day of my shoot. She grabbed my cheeks, pinched them so hard, and she's like, yeah, that's the color I want. It was like, that's the kind of stuff we've been through. And so everyone else who does music videos today is like very chill about it and really casual about it. But, indie pop music videos was a huge deal. They were bigger than movie songs. I mean, it was a huge deal. Till date, every day I get messages about Ik Pardesi, Babu Chal Chabila, Jadugar Singh. Every morning I wake up to messages about them. So there's something iconic about them. So maybe when you have that kind of training, you want to be particular and maybe try your best.
Next song you should remix one of those.
Remix one of those?
Yeah. Something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, considering remixes are so in right now.
Everyone's doing remixes right now.
But they call it redos.
Recreations. Recreations.
Remixes.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But really, these are all allied fields, and you've VJ'd, and I know at the heart of it, music is what you're all about.
Yeah.
But there's been the dancing, and there's been the acting, and the presentation, which is the anchoring. What's easiest to do?
Easiest to do.
What's the stuff you could just walk out there and do it?
I mean,
I think you can do all of them now. You've done so many of them.
Yeah.
So many times.
Well, anchoring is pretty easy. I mean, to be honest, and I choose not to do it too often unless it's a really big fun event. But for me, the biggest high is performing live. Nothing comes close to that. And so people are always thinking, where is she? What is she up to? Because you don't see me on screen so much because I haven't done movies in a few years, and this song has also come after a few years. But it's because I'm always doing gigs. I'm known to be really popular on the live circuit. I love performing corporates, weddings, concerts. I love interacting with the crowd.
Go, depending on what the requirement, you would go with a band or with a -1?
No, so I tend to perform mostly on a -1, but I have all live percussion, live keyboards, so I do all of that. I don't take drums, guitars. It just becomes too much because, I have my dancers and everything.
Nobody wants to pay these days, man.
Yeah,
for
tell
the
me
crew
about
and
it.
things.
Everyone's got juice right now.
Yeah. It's tough, but I also feel that a lot of the people who go with a whole band, they're actually pretending because most of them are playing the tracks out of the sampler anyway, and they just have the drum and the guitar for effect. Very few people perform full live. That's a fact. A lot of it is just for look. So
Even
if
in
it
the
is
mainstream, it's the same thing now.
Yeah, it isn't the same in the mainstream. And for me, people like to see me as a performer. They like to see me dance. It's important for me to have my dancers. It's important for me to do that. And even this whole percussion thing, this performing on -1 with live dhols and percussion. Honestly, that's something that in this country I pretty much started because nobody understood the concept ke track ke saath dhol ye kya. This is a very UK concept.
Yeah.
This was something that was huge over there. And even when
Who
I
would
first
know better
who
than
would know
him?
better than him. That's what they're all about. But here for like a girl to perform on -1 with dhol, it was like, ye kya kar rahi hai? And that's how I started. Now though everybody wants to do it, but I've been doing it for 12 years now. And that's how I've always performed, and I love it. And so for me, I guess out of everything, gigs is the best. I love being on stage, and nothing compares to that.
Manj, Apache Indian was here a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that mainstream television and radio, in particular in the UK and in the West, has failed artists. All the BBC Asian networks and the other ones who artists were looking for support are not doing as much as they should. And these are wonderful times for artists because you can just go online and put it out there. So you agree with that? You think?
Yeah, I think BBC Asian network, I mean, I know them very closely. They can get, and I know what Apache's talking about because Apache had a little bit of a tiff with BBC Asian Network. It's a situation that is unfortunate because Asian Network does particularly like to promote artists that are doing well at the moment currently. So if you are doing well, they're going to promote the hell out of you. And if you're okay, then they pick and choose. But he's right, because now not only do you not need just BBC Asian Network, you can digitally promote yourself anyway, whether it be YouTube or now this new huge TikTok thing that's going on that everyone's going crazy with. But yeah, it does help that the digital age has now given another opportunity for artists to promote themselves.
Yeah. Like, for example, in the 2000s when you started off, you would have to go to music channel or music get your video played, get it on rotation, and strike deals with music. You don't have to do that anymore. So that aspect has become easier, but then there's a lot more clutter, isn't there, Sophie?
It's so much harder. So, I mean, a lot of people don't know that when YouTube actually launched their celebrity channels in India, the first one they launched was with me.
Wow.
It was called Channel Sophie. It was end of 2009, 2010. I was doing an album with Hrishi Rich at the time. The timing was perfect. My single was coming out with Mumsy Stranger. It was a song called Manj, and I was on a record label, but this channel was launched with me. And I remember at that time they told me, literally, because I was putting up so much stuff all the time, they were like, you're getting more traffic than Priyanka Chopra even, because you're just constantly, you're so active. I was making money off the channel. It was great. And a year later, Hrishi, I was, I'm shooting, I'm editing, I'm uploading, I'm producing, I'm doing everything. It was exhausting. And back then, nobody really understood just how big this whole YouTube thing is going to be. People were starting out, but nobody understood the power of it. And when you don't have the backup of support, you kind of get a little bit complacent and lazy. I'm going to be really honest. If I had carried on doing it, I think I would have had one of the biggest celebrity
channels, sure.
YouTube channels for sure, because I had a head start on everybody. But it was really exhausting. Like, what do I put up? Well, how much do I shoot? When do I? It was too much to take in for me. And I didn't realize the magnitude of it. Perhaps I realized it more than others, but perhaps even I didn't realize just how huge it was going to be. So at that point, when you were putting up stuff, if your video was getting 500,000 or 1 million hits, it was a massive deal. It was like, wow, it was a huge deal. My video with Hrishi got almost 1 million hits at that time. I was like, wow, that's humongous. That doesn't happen. A behind the scenes photo shoot with Dabu Ratnani, 500,000 hits. It was like, what? This is, it was a big deal to get all of that. And so today, it's cluttered. It's much harder. It's much harder to stand out, and so people do still need support. They do still need a little bit of push, however you do it, because it's really hard to invest that kind of money yourself. You can do it, but it is hard.
And nowadays, you don't even know what's real or what's not.
You don't. That's
exactly, man. You know who's buying them and who's the likes and the this and that.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy when you look at some artists in India who on day one get more views than a Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
When she releases a song, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Well, that's one of the reasons why Google turned around and actually banned certain languages for promotion in India.
Yeah.
Because people was just taking the mick out of it, like they were just using and abusing the thing. So
it's
the mainstream's going to crack down at one point anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Correct. And working out of Toronto, I mean, there's one is the mainstream movement with guys like Drake and Bieber doing their thing, and then there's this whole Punjabi movement, which is also reminiscent of the UK.
Yeah, absolutely.
That must have been fun all these years, now that you're a Jew boy.
Now I'm a Jew. I'm a gully boy.
Now you're a loco.
I'm a gully boy. It was. You know what? It's been a great movement, to be honest. It's good to see from Punjabi to. I mean, I started this in 1999. Yeah. So we released a thing. I don't know if you probably remember or if you've ever saw it. We used to have this thing called RDB TV. Which was 2 years before YouTube existed, and it was basically us who went around, did interviews with people, and we posted it onto a website, which we had a server based in Miami, and we used to pay ridiculous amounts of money, and we used to go and do a show, and then after our performance we'd go, and let's just say Sophie was performing there, we'd go and interview her, and then we'd chop it and edit it and put it onto our website. And
crazy,
that
right?
got big and it got huge in like a month and a half, and our bandwidth was getting crashed. There was too many people going online, and slowly people started contacting us to say, can you put our banner up? We're doing an event. So we charge people for banners and start putting banners on.
You were so ahead of your time, dude.
And then after banners, people would pay us to go to their event to go and interview. So for about 2 years, we did this thing called RDB TV, which I'm going to relaunch and put onto YouTube now. And people will get to see what we was doing back then. and that was just after 2 years into that, then YouTube launched,
Yes.
and
Crazy.
everything changed. So seeing the movement digitally from YouTube before it even existed. I remember when everyone used to use dial-up connections and AOL, these CDs that used to go from that to then going to Toronto, to then making Punjabi music in Toronto, to then connecting into the hip-hop world, and then going into hip-hop, and then coming back to India, bringing the hip-hop to India, going into the whole gully. I think I've gone through like a full circle of music, from Punjabi to Hindi to Bollywood to hip-hop to American hip-hop to back here, and now Gully Boy. It's like crazy. I think it's brilliant. It's an experience, and I'm still learning. I can't say that I have learned it all and I'm a godfather and I'm this and that. No, I'm still learning today. Every day I'm learning something new. Last night I couldn't sleep. I went on YouTube to find out how to use this new program I just downloaded. So I'm always learning.
But that's the amazing thing about him.
He's
like
a
this
ledge,
is
man.
this is like, yeah, he's a legitimate legend. But like you sit with him and he's just the most normal, regular guy. And I think I'm spoiled because my first guru was Biddu, who, if you meet him even today, he's in his 70s, the coolest guy ever, inspired of songs like Aap Jaisa Koi, Disco Diwane, Kung Fu Fighting, and you name it, all these, massive epic hits. You chat with him and he's just like the coolest, he's like the godfather of pop, but he's just like the coolest guy. And it's the same with him. So it gets really hard to work with people who have an attitude just because they have one or two hits, or they have an ego. It makes it so difficult, and that happens a lot here. Like people get one hit and they're suddenly different people, and it's really nice and refreshing to meet people who constantly want to learn. And I think one of the reasons Manj is also like that is because he's got this genius son called Noopster, who's going to be a massive success.
Hopefully
He will. He's how old is he?
He's 12 now.
12.
Wow.
And he's
Prodigy,
producing.
Yeah.
And so he keeps him on his toes for all like the new
I
sounds
actually
and the
steal
new
a couple
stuff.
of his beats.
Yeah.
He'll be producing something in his room and I'll be like, oh, that sounds nice, I'll take that, thank you very much.
How cool
Yeah,
is that?
yeah.
But he's
it's
the youth,
awesome.
he's the future.
So
Yeah.
obviously the Bollywood guys have come calling. So what movies are you working on? Are you doing BGM? Are you doing background music also? Or is it just going to be songs?
No, I'm not doing background. I've never tried doing background actually.
Never say never. Mr.
yeah.
Rich is on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rishi's
yeah.
on it, dude.
Yeah,
It's
but apparently
insane.
there's good money in it as well. So
But Rishi's actually into that whole thing. He
Yeah.
likes the whole idea of background. So,
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, for films wise, my first acting was in Gully Boy as myself really. So it wasn't really acting. It wasn't really acting. It was
he was
easy.
he was the judge at the end.
Yeah.
Sounded very important.
Yeah, my Hindi was really whack though. My Hindi was really bad.
Yeah,
but
Hindi
still, I
was
tried.
Certainly better than Raja Kumari.
Yeah, true.
I'm बहुत अच्छा किया, but
Yeah.
और अच्छा हो सकता था. Sorry guys, your journey ends. I know it already. I've seen it once. I know your
Well,
lines.
guys, we didn't want to give the suspense away because, the movie's only been in the theaters for 1 week, but they did it.
Yeah.
Zoya, they did it.
Yeah.
So, Manj is there. He's a judge at the end, and I'm not going to say more. You got to go watch it.
If you haven't seen it, you have to see the movie. It's incredible.
So that was my little acting thing. But music-wise, for movies, I've got another 2 songs with Akshay Paji coming for his upcoming movies. I've got some more singles, and in general, we've just launched a new record label called Music One Records with Raj Kundra and my partner Sumit, and we're signing new artists. And I think now I've come to a point where really the music for me is just it's kind of flatlined. Like for me, honestly, it's not for fame, it's not for money, it's just for the passion of wanting to do music. Whether people accept it or they don't accept it, I don't really care anymore. I just want to do it because I like doing it. Shows are gonna come, but I really want to promote and push new talent now. That's what it's all about.
Awesome. So I hope this is not just a one-off collaboration. You guys have thought of like
absolutely.
2 tracks and 3 tracks or
Yeah,
more.
we're definitely gonna work on one
Yeah,
more.
we'll do something.
I'm super excited because Manj has always sung with Nindi, and
Yeah.
she's absolutely epic. So this is like your first female
And
collaboration.
she's retired
right?
now, so
She's
she's officially said, I'm not going to do anymore. So,
So it was really exciting for me to get to sing with him. So we're gonna be working on something more.
it'll be super
And
cool.
I've definitely got some more singles coming up. I've been working with the lovely Durbin boys as well.
Yeah.
So after Lamborghini, hopefully we come up with
Man,
a hit.
that song is massive.
But you know what? But let me tell you, if they had the backing of a massive record company when it came out, or if they had the backing of a film, that song would have been massive overnight. It's taken them 1 year. It released last February. People don't realize it's taken them 1 year for people to even know the song. People barely know who they are yet.
But that's organic growth.
Yeah,
that's
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 true
beautiful,
organic.
isn't it?
Until
That's true.
T-Series takes it and steals it and remixes it and puts it on film. But that's just the way things work, right?
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
right.
story, Morning Glory.
Coming from the girl whose biggest hits are remixes, I just want to say keep supporting original music as well, please, everybody.
Okay, last few questions before we wrap. These are just lifestyle questions. We have a show called Run with Radio 1. So we're doing a campaign where we're trying to promote fitness through running. Are you a cardio person, weights person?
I'm a cardio person and a Pilates person.
Awesome. So what's your fitness routine like? Take us through it.
Yeah, so I'm actually someone who's had like 2 slip discs in the past, and I still managed to go on Jhalak Dikhla and do all those crazy stunts. That's all thanks to Pilates. I train with the amazing Yasmin Karachiwala. So I'm a big believer in fitness. Everybody knows that. I train regularly doing my Pilates. I do a lot of cardio within the gym, not too much externally. And my dancing, of course, which, my gigs are like 2 hours long and I'm dancing constantly. So that keeps me super fit. So yeah, I believe in that. I just believe that fitness has to be part of your life and it should not be something to lose weight. I think fit is the new skinny. You need to be
Look at
fit.
you. I mean, you drink from the fountain of youth. You
No.
haven't aged a moment. Forget
I
about
sleep in a
year.
freezer at night.
Very
Wake up in the morning,
Michael Jackson-esque.
You know what? I think if you lead a fit and healthy lifestyle, it's just going to reflect.
Makes a huge
I have a
difference,
beautiful neighbor who's one of my dearest friends and who was very kind to launch Naiyo Sawna. That is Malaika Arora. Either it's the water from our building because we're all looking young, or we just all believe in the same thing, which is just lead a fit, healthy lifestyle. So yeah.
And the running, is it? I mean, if you're not getting mobbed, can you run on? Do you run on the road, joggers park, or on a treadmill?
I prefer to do a treadmill. I tend to walk more than I run. But let me tell you something. Mumbai is a very chilled city. I mean, there's very few people who get truly mobbed. Otherwise, most people are allowed to pretty much live their life as they want. Running in Delhi, I'm not so sure.
yeah, definitely not.
Okay, we have a campaign called Heal the World. How do you think each of us can make the world a better place? How can we heal the world?
You want to go first?
Oh wow, heal the world.
He's going to answer the fitness one too.
Oh, so I'll do.
Oh, really?
Heal the world,
Okay, I have to go first.
Yeah. How do I think we can heal the world? Oh my God, this world needs so much healing. It's got to start environmentally. The kind of air that we're leaving for future generations, the kind of lack of civic sense that we have in our own beautiful country. It's so insane to me. The fact that when I go to London, I'm trying to breathe in the air and my friends are laughing at me saying this place is so polluted, and I'm like, seriously, you need to come to India. So I think healing the world, first and foremost, it comes from healing the environment and, owning up to our own responsibilities of what we need to do. Second of all, look at the crazy times we live in. When I was growing up, we were living in a time of globalization, the world becoming one and everyone coming closer. And in the past few years, I've seen everyone become so much more closed. Everybody, each to their own, be it race, be it religion, be it country. Just look at the kind of, leaders we have across the world right now. It's just becoming the most negative possible space that we could live in. So the world needs a lot of healing. People need to come together. People need to fight against things together, be it drugs, be it terror. People just need to come together, which is what was happening, and suddenly everybody went apart. I guess that's the only way to heal the world, is to make people come together.
And my last question is there a travel destination that you went to recently and said, wow, Sophie, I could live here,
live here, wow.
Where has she not been? She's been everywhere in the whole world.
Yeah, I've been everywhere.
Your favorite travel destination?
It's so difficult. I'm a London girl, and now when I go back, it feels like I'm a tourist because I've become such a Mumbaiker. I could live in London, Dubai, maybe New York. Those are the kind of cities I could probably live in.
But a vacation spot.
Vacation spot. So difficult. A vacation spot that I could live in?
No,
or just a favorite vacation spot that I
like.
love? I love the Far East. So everything from Bali to my favorite place that I went to was Tokyo. It was incredible.
Did you go during cherry blossom season?
No,
or?
that's something I want to do. I went, and it was the most incredible few days of my life. The people, the culture, the food, and I'm not just talking sushi. I mean, it's the best pizza you're going to eat is going to be in Tokyo. And the people are so warm and welcoming, and even if language is a barrier, they go out of their way to help you. It's so clean. There's so much history. It's got everything, right in the middle of the craziest shopping district is you'll have like the Meiji Shrine, which is like a garden and it's almost like a forest and it's got shrines and you're just like, how is this place so incredible? So yeah, Japan is right up on my list.
Did you do any adventure sports during all these trips? In any of them?
I have done. Yeah, I've done. So I've done stuff like water skiing, parasailing, and stuff like that.
Where was this?
That's a really good question. I have to remember. I think it was probably in Thailand. Probably in Thailand. Yeah, I really, really want to jump out of a plane.
I actually did bungee jumping in Thailand.
Really?
You did? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, bungee jumping. I'm too scared of.
At some point, did you feel that, my God, this is gonna go?
No, I'm just crazy like that. I love jumping out of planes and doing stupid things like that. So even he was holding me and he was like, okay, after the count of 3, I didn't even let him count. I just ran off there. I just jumped and he's like, ah! It was pretty crazy though, because there wasn't many rules and regulations in that place in Thailand.
Yeah.
So afterwards somebody told me that that they don't even check the ropes properly and blah blah blah, and I was like, really? Oh well, I survived, so I'm not going to do it again now after that.
Yeah, but bungee jumping is the one thing I wouldn't do. It just freaks me out completely, but I definitely want to jump out of a plane. Yeah,
That's crazy. Yeah.
So what's your fitness routine? Do you get any time away from the
Eating
studio?
broccoli every morning. Okay, if you watch my Instagram, I'm definitely not a fitness routine kind of guy.
Lies! You go through your phases.
Exactly. I go through my phases. So, but yeah, I like cardio. I'm not a big weights guy.
Is it running outside? Or
No, treadmill. Running outside, I can only do that in Toronto because I like cycling in Toronto when I'm in Toronto. I really like cycling, so that's my kind of fitness routine.
And how can we heal the world? What do you think?
Heal the world. I agree with Sophie. To be honest, I think it's first the environment and just the way the world is going right now. I mean, I just heard this morning there's a massive earthquake in California that just happened, 3.8 Richter scale or something crazy, and it was snowing in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So you know what? Like the world is falling apart, and we can see that clearly. Delhi, there was like massive hailstones, the size of golf balls coming down. This world is really falling apart, and it's happening because of the pollution. It's happening because of all the stuff that's happening in not just India but all across the world. And I think environmentally we need to pull our socks up, and I think that's the first way to heal the world.
A travel destination or a vacation spot that you went to and said, "Wow."
I loved Hawaii. Hawaii was super cool.
I want to go there.
Super cool. I went to Hawaii. We had an event there, a wedding, and then straight after that we stayed there for 5 days, and it was super awesome.
Guys, you're lovely.
You're
Thank you for
lovely.
rolling by. Thank you for rolling
One
by.
of the loveliest interviews I've done in the longest time.
Yeah,
Thank you, Hrishi
super
K.
cool and
Thank
super
you.
chill. Thank you very much.
Thank you.